Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to another episode of Sarcasm and Orgasm. I'm your host Will, and I want to thank you for listening and tuning in to another episode. And on today's episode, I have a very special guest. She is a relationship expert. So hopefully she can teach me a little bit why I keep fucking up and teaching all of you as well. I would love to welcome my host, Gayle Lynn. How are you? How are you doing
I
today?
am doing fantastic. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I finally made it. I finally made it. I know we were supposed to do it earlier, but here we are now. So, God willing, let's get it started.
It sounds good. It's all in the right timing, right?
Yes, it definitely is. You can't complain when you let like everything lines up and then like poof, we're here.
Right?
So,
We made it.
yes, we did. We did. Now, Gail, I would like to ask, just give me and everybody else just a little bit of background about you.
Okay, so my name is Gayle Lynn, and I am a relationship coach, and my business is Relationships Evolving because
Hmm.
relationships evolve. They don't stay the same. Life doesn't stay static. Change is a part of life. So let's roll with it and evolve these relationships into something that is beautiful. And that's what I
Hmm.
really desire for my clients is to really come to a place within themselves where they're able to really express their truth of what they desire. And a
Yes.
lot of people don't really know what they want. It takes a little bit of discovery to really understand what you want.
How much discovery? Because I've been chipping away and I still keep getting
Uh,
rubble. So,
it's a journey. It's a lifetime journey, I think, because we're going to get to a level and then we're going to be there and we're going to take it in, we're going to integrate it, and then life is going to invite us to go to the next level and then the next level, and it's just the journey that we're on is these experiences that we have.
but in your opinion, like how many levels? Because I've chipped away at enough to where like I say, oh fuck this, I'll just go on and find another level that's a lot easier.
Well, you know what? Sometimes we need a break in life, and that's okay.
Hmm.
You deal with the easy stuff sometimes and like shelf the more hard stuff. But you know what the interesting thing is about life? Life is always going to invite you again. So if you kind of ignore something or push back on it, something's going to come around. And this time it might be a little bit louder. And if you don't want to listen to it, the next time it's going to be a lot louder. So, you know what? My motto is you never waste a trigger.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that. I really like that you never waste a trigger. When you say that, that's very resonating. Like it comes up to my head like there's some triggers that I've never wasted that I've went and shot at, and it's come back in a very positive way. There's been some negative ones, but still, it's like you never know until you try.
Well,
So,
you don't. You know what? So many people cut down their possibilities in life because they're so
uh-huh.
afraid of what somebody else is going to think or say. And they want to manage that because what might happen is they might feel something.
Yeah,
People don't like to feel.
true,
You know,
true.
they're okay with it when we're happy and everything's good and joyful. But the minute it comes to, oh, something might be sad, people deem it wrong because we're taught to shut that down. Like how many, especially the older generation, I think this happens a lot more is, you're a man, don't cry.
Hmm.
So we're like taught to really shut those things down. And
Yes.
so when we can actually come to a space where we're willing to feel everything, the sad, the happy, like that's why we're here. That's why we're here on this earth is to feel the feels.
I mean, I think when you said that, when you said we don't like to feel, the only time I feel like that is when it's last call and I gotta leave. But then I'll just go home and drink some more. So,
So you don't feel.
so I can really feel it. Then I feel it like, oh well, I guess when I pass out and I wake up, everything looks familiar. So, but I hear what you're
Uh-oh,
saying.
you
And
froze.
now, so with you being a relationship expert and your
Are
company or
you
your
there?
business being relationship evolving, how did you come to it? Like what pushed you into where like, hey, I'm gonna try to coach people into having better relationships with the opposite sex or even the same sex?
for me, what happened is my husband came to me. We had been together, known each other for a good 28 plus years. And, we got married when we were young. I was 21, he was 19. And he came to me and expressed this desire to have sex with another person. And at first I freaked out. I was like, no, you don't understand. We've been in the church. It's one man, one wife. We don't do these kind of things. What are you talking about? I literally went to my closet and cried and screamed, just shut the door to my closet and cried. But then, you know, after time and really working through it, and I had to take ownership for me first. And I did
Hmm.
that by looking at, well, what's going on in my life? Why would he be wanting that right now? And at the time, my son was kind of in the height of his addiction, and I coped by it by taking sleeping medication because I didn't want to feel what I had to feel him going through this addiction. And so I would just zonk out, no sex, type of thing. And where he really dealt with it as a male, wanting more sex to kind of deal with it. So, like, there was this mismatching that was going on with our sex drives. And
Hmm.
so I'm like, okay, well, let me look at myself first. What can I do? And that's when I really saw that the sleeping medication had to go. It made me dumb. It, like, literally my kids would like look at me nodding off on the couch. It was no different than somebody using heroin or something like that. All I was doing was numbing my feelings. And
Wow.
so, through that, I stopped that. But then I was like, okay, what can we do to create more intimacy between us? And so the first thing I did, or we did together, was orgasmic meditation. And so that's something that allowed me to really awaken into the sexual being that I am, because it's a container. Right? Did you think it was going to get this juicy?
Yeah, yeah, just you're orgasmic. I'm like, what? They're
Right?
like, oh, think about it before I actually put it in. So nice.
Hey, we're sarcasm and orgasm, right? Okay.
Mhm.
So we're
Definitely,
getting to
definitely.
like this kind of orgasm, and we'll get on to
Mhm.
what life is and an orgasm in life is at, right? So
I'm hoping.
so anyway, orgasmic meditation is where the woman actually takes her pants off. You ready for this? The man keeps
Already.
completely closed, and there's this container that's set for 15 minutes. And during that time period, the man is gently, slowly stroking the woman's clit, because we have so many nerve endings on the lower left part of our clit, which
Okay.
um, is going to allow you to start learning how to feel a lot, like understanding the sensations in your body and what's going on. And then what comes with that is orgasm.
I mean, I feel her. She feels me, and then poof, it happened. So
Right.
why do I have to stimulate you even more than possible?
Why not? There you
Uh,
can have more than one orgasm.
yeah, you can. And usually you get two, like after you come, and then after you grab the $40 off the table. So you know,
Well, maybe you should be open into even more than two. It's possible. I'm just letting you
yeah.
know.
Well, anything's possible, but yeah, please
So
indulge me more.
so anyways, that really started to open up like the intimacy between the two of us. uh but the thing is it never, that desire for him to really get to know somebody else and have that sexual encounter with somebody else didn't go away. It came back around a year later. And so at that point, a lot of people are like, well, you just want to cheat with permission, fuck you, I'm getting a divorce, I'm leaving, and I just decided I'm not going to handle it that way. Let's see what this is going to be. And so literally we sat down and we said, okay, we're going to figure this out and let's see what happens. Let's see where this journey takes us. And so we took our rings off. Like that was the space. It wasn't that we were separating or anything like that, but just as a symbol of, we're going to move into possibly these other spaces of having other relationships. And so what I did is, from some suggestions of friends, is I signed us up for some sacred sexuality classes. And so within that, you're in a container from like a Thursday to a Sunday where you can actually experience other people. And
Sounds like a swingers club.
it sounds like what?
A swingers club.
It's a little bit more than that because you're not,
You're excited to go sleep with other people for 4 days.
well,
I mean,
mind you, you're not sleeping with somebody else.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
So that, not, at least not in the first level. Um,
Oh, you stimulate them with your clothes on?
no, you have your clothes off.
Oh,
You do.
Jesus.
But
There's a
there's
protocol for
other
this.
exercises that you can do to be intimate with each other
Hmm.
that it doesn't involve sex.
Really?
But there are, we chose to do this with other people in a room
Hmm.
where I could see him across the way with another woman and he could see me with a man across the way.
Okay.
So it becomes an intense environment because you are there with another person. You are naked. You might doing these different exercises together to create intimacy. But what it did, there was a lot of personal development also designed into the classes. So
Yes.
so you're it's more than just let's go have sex with people. It was like a really deep dive in, hey, this is what monogamy is, this is what opening a relationship looks like, this is what polyamory looks like. And so now we are starting to understand, okay, this there are different ways to have life, to have a relationship.
Hmm.
um,
Yes.
Something we never, I mean, we were in the church for years and would never have thought about it. But what it did is it like actually brought us closer together to say, you know what, I'm okay. Let's do this. Let's open our relationship. And so we
Hmm.
did. And this is one of the reasons I became a relationship coach, because it's kind of messy when you start digging into relationships like this. And for me, being able for two people or three people, maybe, depending on how you want to look at it, if it's polyamory, is to really define the relationship they want in this lifetime or in this moment or this part of their life, for them to be able to really understand what they want and then create that. And so, that's part of the program that I have is, there's no shame or guilt, there's no judgment. I'm somebody that boots on the ground, did monogamy for years. I did an open relationship. I've done polyamory. And every relationship I'm in, we choose what it's going to be between us. And so sometimes it might be monogamy because we're just choosing to really get to know each other in a very thorough way and get that very deep relationship. Because in polyamory, it's a little bit different. There's a lot of communication. When you start doing this, there's a lot of communication involved, and that's one of the key things that the first thing you have to work on. In other words, you go in these communication circles where you don't really get anywhere. You just keep talking about the same thing over and over. And I literally felt like it was a part-time job, just communicating about how to do this. And so
Yeah.
having somebody in your court where you can kind of cut that down and really get to what's going on, how the other person is feeling, what the other person needs, and clearly be able to communicate it cuts out a lot of that, the communication circles.
See, I look at polyamory as in I'm sick of you, I want someone else, but I still want you at the same time. That's how I see it. No, I'm not trying to be cynical about
No,
it, but go ahead.
no, you're okay. I totally get how you're feeling it. I get why you would say that. Um, and what if? What if it's like, okay, I do want to have a little bit of different spice. I want to have some different experiences. Is that necessarily wrong?
No, it's not necessarily wrong, but just like you said, it's not communicated,
Yeah,
especially in the time and the place that we live in, to where people say they want to talk about things, but they don't want to talk. It makes it harder and harder to communicate with someone, knowing that you have certain feelings, certain urges to want to try to do something else, but you feel as though you're conflicted because you care more so about your partner's feelings than yours.
yeah, exactly.
And it's hard. It's hard to do that when you say, "Hey, say for instance, hey Gail, I love you, I care about you, our relationship is great, but I want to do something else with you or without you. Is that okay?" And then of course you might say, "Well, hell no. Your dick belongs to me. It's not supposed to go anywhere else." So it's just in the world that we live in, people are not willing to say how they feel and what they want because of the ridicule that might come with what you want from that person or what you don't
Yeah.
want.
Oh, tell me about it. I experienced all kinds of that. you know, but and it's really common because we don't want to speak our truth. We're afraid to.
Mhm.
One, because it's going to create feelings in the other person. It created a ton of
Yes.
feelings for me. I mean, I went through what's wrong with me, self-worth issues all over the place, along with, you got jealousy to deal with, um, you know, all everything is going to start coming up. So when people don't tell their truth because they want to manage how other people feel, and that's really where
Yeah.
you kind of get into like
Yeah.
a more of a
I understand that.
codependent relationship. Uh-oh, you froze again. Are you back? You froze for a few.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All
So I
right.
don't know if you heard it or not, but what I was saying is, a lot of people don't want to communicate what they want because they're trying to manage what the other person feels. Because if the other person feels something, then you might have to feel something, and people want to avoid their feelings.
Yeah, it's a bitch trying to avoid your feelings, but then like if you hold it and you compress it, then you start getting angry down the
Mhm.
line. And I know that I've been in some relationships myself to where I've compressed my feelings to a way it's like I feel bad for how I'm feeling. So it's almost like it's like a catch-22 to where you just don't know what to do, especially in a relationship saying, "Yeah, I want to sleep with you, but sleep with somebody else." Or, "Yeah, I want to spice things up. Like, I want to put two fingers in your butt or put a butt plug or a gerbil or whatever." It just really depends. Not that I want to put gerbils in people's asses. That's not. But I'm just saying, the possibilities are out there. So,
Well, they are out there, and unless we are vulnerable, that's one of the things that I teach in my coaching is like, what are the pillars that you're going to stand on for your life? Like, how can we design a compass for your life where you can always go back to that and be able to know if you're on your true north, or if you're kind of weaned off because you're not willing to stick to those pillars. So like for me,
mhm.
honesty is one of them, and authenticity, vulnerability, and curiosity.
Yes.
And so if I'm not operating and being vulnerable to be honest, then I'm off my compass. Because
Hmm.
for me, it's more important in my life to really drop into that space where I'm going to be honest with whoever I am with. Because you know what? It's not worth it to try and navigate all this other stuff. Because usually what people are navigating is their safety and security. They want to feel safe and secure in their relationships. And maybe for one of them that, if this happens, they might not have their partner taking care of them financially. There's a lot that you start to uncover, like what are your real reasons and what are you afraid of?
I'm just afraid of being left in the bed by myself while you get up and take the covers with you to the bathroom. That's all.
That's it. You're a simple
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, I'm very simple because I can remember she was like, when was the most time that I left you vulnerable? I said, when you got up, went to the bathroom, and took the blanket with you, and I'm just shivering in this wet spot that you left me in. So,
Where's the wet spots? Right? They're so
Yep.
cold.
Yeah, it very cold. And she was a leaker. She really was.
That's a good woman.
And apparently not. She's not here anymore. So obviously she's bad. When I was back in college, so this was a long time ago.
Long time ago, huh?
Long, long time ago. Like, wow, I can't believe I'm saying it like that. But I digress. But I'll ask you this. So, in your coaching, with the people that you come with, what has seemed to be the most, if not difficult, but most challenging thing that you come across on a consistent basis?
People really wanting or really having the confidence to speak what they want. Um,
Both men and
yeah,
women, or
both men
just
and
is it one?
women. It just depends. It really comes back to, really understanding what may have happened in the past that's causing you to really stop in your tracks. So, some of
Mm-hmm.
it could be self-worth issues, some of it could be shame and guilt. Safety and security. It's really digging into, like, how are you functioning in life and how are you trying to manage your system so that you really
Yeah.
feel safe?
Mm-hmm.
And
I get that.
it's a lot of it's just an illusion, and once we can get past that and we can out the story of what's kind of holding you back, then we can start moving forward. Yeah.
Wow. And so, in your coaching, have you learned more about, as far as like what you want when it comes to your bundles of relationships
Oh yeah,
that you like?
absolutely. I mean, life, to me, this is what life is experiences and it's feeling your feelings. And
Hmm.
so I look at every person and relation. It doesn't even need to necessarily be a romantic relationship. It could be a friend, a family member, a boss, whatever it is. Relationships are there to show us who we are. And they're
Uh-huh.
there to be that mirror for us if we're willing to look at it. If we're willing to
Yes.
really look at ourselves. you know and that's what I did through this process. I was willing to look at myself. What is it within me? And I discovered, okay, a lot of it came down to I didn't feel worthy, or I felt like I did something wrong or something like that. And that really, it wasn't the case. That wasn't
Mm.
what it is. But I got to find out, oh wow, I really do have some self-worth issues. And so then I was able to really start working on, no, I'm a whole person. And everybody that comes to me, you're a whole person. Everybody is a whole person. It's just discovering that you are, and stuff. And I would say, because you asked, some of the other things I've seen, probably one of the biggest things is a mismatched sex drive. Like, a lot of people have that relationship that they love spiritually, emotionally. Um, they love to go do activities together, but one has a low libido and one has a high libido. And so a lot
Uh-huh.
of times, and that's even kind of what happened with us, even though afterwards it wasn't the case anymore. Um, but being able to get to that space and just be able to speak your truth, say, this is who you are. Can we still have this part of our relationship? And then come back and maybe I want to have a second relationship where I have this sexual need met, or it could be an emotional, or whatever part is wanting to be beefed up, or somebody wants a different reflection in that part of their relationship, is being able to say, okay, is there a way we can find out to um, you know fulfill that for each other?
Hmm. Yeah, I have a high drive. It's just hard to find a woman who can go 3 or 4 times for at least 3 minutes each. So yeah,
Did you say for at least 3 minutes each?
3 minutes, yes. Yeah, I'll give you a whole hour if you could just do it in spurts. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, that's not the truth. It's usually a half an hour. After that, then I'm good. 3, 4 times, I'm done. So, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow. So, I like a part A and a part B. That's just me.
Why not?
Yeah. I I want to hit so well that you can't get up. I just need to bring you some tea or some coffee. Like just
There you go. You're a good man.
definitely, definitely.
Nothing like having a lover who will let you integrate and bring you whatever you want afterwards.
I mean, I put you in that position. Why not take care of you? You know.
There you go. I love it.
So in your workings with other people, how has going from finding out that your ex husband wants to sleep with other people to where you becoming a coach now, how has your relationship with him been since that?
Well, interesting enough, we got a divorce. And so, and this is one of the things in my program, you know, I I don't it's what you want. Do you want to stay in the marriage? Do you want to open your marriage? Do you want to do polyamory, or do you want to get a divorce? Is it just time that you want to? And for us, it wasn't the relationship piece necessarily. It was more, he was really wanting to discover more about himself, and kind of going through that midlife crisis of, what do I want to be when I grow up? And
Well, he could have just went in the bathroom, shaved himself, went and got a motorcycle, and then called it a day.
he could
Like,
have.
come on now.
He could have. And when he sees this, good advice. Who knows?
I'm just
He
saying,
got the
like,
red
man,
sports car.
what more do you want? And then he had a hot smoking wife. So, like, come on now. Like, what do you want out of life?
Yeah. And there was somebody who he kind of wanted to journey with, uh and it was kind of a business, maybe a personal thing. But it's, to
Yes.
me, I want whoever I'm with to be their happiest best self. If that's a part, it's a part. We actually are really good friends, and we root for each other. He's making documentaries and creative and traveling around and doing all this stuff. And same for me. He wants the best for me. And so, we're definitely cheerleaders in each other's court, wanting the best for each other. Um,
Yeah.
but what we did is we did it in a very conscious way. We did some conscious uncoupling, because it doesn't need to be nasty and mean and all this type of stuff. There's ways to go about it where, again, kind of pulling in a lot of that communication piece, but being able to do it in a very conscious way. And that's what we did. And one of the things that we discovered, one of the reasons we got married, was because we had sex outside of marriage, and we were in the church, and it was a really bad thing. And so we, decided to make it right by getting married,
I mean, the pastors are doing it now, so I don't see what's the difference.
right?
I mean, if you're sleeping, with the deacons lady, and then you're sleeping with, all the ushers, like, why does it really matter?
Right. Well, what, I agree with you. That's not exactly the church that we were in felt like, or his parents. They were, yeah,
I mean, who cares? Catholic, Presbyterian, we all know we're either going to go to hell or somewhere else, but we might as well just enjoy it while we're here. Not that I'm trying to sound sacrilegious, but still, you should know who you are, and if you can, like, go to your whoever your higher being is and ask for some type of forgiveness, I'm sure he'll look the other way as if, okay, y'all fucked on the side before y'all got married.
so
So
what?
what?
And I wish we could have said that in the moment. I really do. But
Hmm.
that wasn't what the family was saying. That wasn't what the church was saying. There's so many of these belief systems that are hanging people up. And for me, my mission is to break down those belief systems and let two people choose what they want. Or three people, or whatever, however many you're going to be involved with. Because in polyamory, it's really like, to do it really good. Like, I had a boyfriend, and me and my boyfriend and my husband would all go out to dinner and decide how we wanted to make this work. and they were friends and they would talk on the phone. And, so that's like the ideal that you want to get to. Some people are just like, you go do your thing and I'll be over here when you're done. Cause I don't want to have to feel anything. So I'm
You
going to just
sound like
ignore
two
it.
frat brothers and a cheerleader. So
What's that?
I said it sounded like two frat brothers sharing the cheerleader.
Hey, you know what?
Not that
Women can
I'm
do
not that
that
I'm trying
too.
to put a poor to it, but that's just what it sounded like. Like they were talking on the phone, and then, oh yeah, I'm gonna hook up with her first, and then you come in later, and then here we go.
You can have her Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I get her Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep, there you go. It's, and I want to go back because, like you said, he wanted to journey with someone else. That just sounds like, oh, he wanted to cheat. And it was like, who says journey? What type of journey are you on to go on to sleep with somebody else? But that's just me. That's just me.
It's just you. Well, I guess the way we look at it is life is a journey, you know, and so we kind of pick these different journeys that we want to go down in life, and
Hmm.
they're just different experiences.
Hey, hey, man. Hey, however you see it, that's fine. As long as you can look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day, it's fine with
There
me.
you go. It's
Yeah,
your truth, right?
yeah. We're not gonna get on my truth because there's a lot. Especially with sex and other people's feelings are involved. There's too many of them to go through. So,
What were you talking about? How many levels do you want to get to?
the easy or the ones that I know I can extend to. I would just want to get to the highest of the high. So if that means I'm in like three thruples, I'll do it.
Three thruples at
Three
3 minutes
thruples.
apiece?
Oh no, no,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
extend it to five. I'll extend it to five.
Oh,
At least give them something.
okay. Sarcasm, right? The name of the show.
Yeah, yeah. This is not Krispy Kreme. You can't just be getting freebies for nothing. So, in your journey that you have gone through and where you are now, how happy are you with yourself? Okay, I'll say this. Looking back, what is the biggest thing that you learned from yourself then that you know now?
I think for me, I learned so much. Every time I had a different partner, I discovered another piece of me. And
Hmm.
instead of being this mom, because I had three kids and everything was all about the mom life and the kids and then the husband. Like for me, it was total self-discovery of who I am. That I am this beautiful sexual being that can enjoy who she is, enjoy sex, enjoy different relationships, and being able to see myself in that, as a mirror with that other person, and really say, no, I get to create the life I want.
Yeah.
I really get to create what I want. And so for me, it was really a journey of discovering who I am. And that's a big part of the program that I have, because the program I have right now it's for women that I do, because I do group coaching within that program. I also work with
Hmm.
men, I will work with couples, however it needs to flesh out. But the main program that I have, and like my Facebook group that I have, is for women. Um, is really being able to, that piece of understanding who you are. Like, let's rediscover who you are without them, the husband, the partner, the kids, whatever it is. And let's get you to a place where you're making an empowering decision for your life. Not what your partner wants, but what you really want,
Yes.
you know?
Oh, okay. Interesting. Very interesting take. I like that. So going forward, if people want to be a part of your sex cult, no, no. But if people are looking for you to be their coach in relationship, sexual awareness, being more in tune with themselves, how could they reach you?
So you can always email me, Gayle@relationshipsevolving.com. Um,
Hmm.
I Big place for me is Facebook. that's kind of where I connect with a lot of people. So I do have relationships evolving with Gayle Lynn as a business page. And then I do have relationships evolving group for women. And I've actually had several men try to join. So I think there's going to be one for men pretty soon. But I do that just because, I want to provide a space where women can support women and
Yes.
kind of move from that space. But it just depends, because sometimes if it's a couple trying to work through these and they really want to work, both ways, then I love doing that also. So
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Great. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. It was really a pleasure finding out more just how to get in tune when you're standing there naked and you gotta wait for a canister to get filled. So it was it was very knowledgeable, and it's something I would never try, but so I want to tell you all thank you for listening to another episode of Sarcasm and Orgasm. Today's guest was Miss Gayle Lynn from Relationships Evolving. If you ever want to reach out to her, and she can help you help your man find more of that libido that you're hiding. So,
I love it. Thank you, Will. I had fun.
I, great. I had fun too. Thank you so much. I'm Will, and y'all take care.